Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by again, and if this is your first time on the channel, you're definitely welcome. Do want to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you get to see more of my content. And in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this wrapper dress. All right, and without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so this is the Ankara print that we're going to use for this tutorial, and here I have around 6 yards, alright, of Ankara print, and I think I ended up using around 5 yards for this tutorial. It all depends on your body size, okay? So I use 5 yards for mine, okay? And the first thing we're going to do is just to go ahead and draft the upper part, that is from the shoulder to the half length. So right here, I've gone ahead to cut both the front and the back piece, all right, from shoulder to the half length with some allowance, all right. And here I have both the front and the back placed here, as you can see. So as you can see right here, I placed the front directly after the zipper allowance, all right, on the back. And the first thing I'm going to do is just to come down by about 1 inch to indicate the start line. Up next, I'll just go ahead and start drafting the basic bodice pattern, right? And the first thing I'm going to do is just to go ahead and indicate the shoulder measurement, all right? The shoulder divided by 2, which I just did. And as you can see, I started my measurement right on the front, not the back, okay? So the next thing to do is to go ahead and draft the neckline. But before I do that, I'll just come to the shoulder line here and I'll come down by 1 inch, all right? Then I'll just go about drafting the neckline, and for the width of the neckline I'm going to be using 4 inches, but as you have it on the style inspiration, the neckline is actually wide, okay? So you can even use 5 inches, all right? And for the depth, I'm just going to come down by 2 inches, and this is going to be for the back neckline, okay? Then I'm just going to go ahead and connect the points together, and I'll just link the neckline on a straight line towards the zipper allowance like so. And for the front neckline, it has a V-neck, all right? So I'll just come down by 6 inches. You can use 7 or even 8, depends on you. So I'll just go ahead and connect the point together. And right now, I'll just create the shoulder slant by connecting the neckline to the 1 inches point we marked earlier, all right? And having done that, I'll just go ahead and start marking the vertical lines from the bust point. I'm going to also indicate the under bust line, then I'm going to indicate the waist line, and I'm going to add half an inch joining allowance to the waist line. And right now, I'll just go ahead and create a straight line across those points marked. And having done that, I'll just go ahead and cut off the excess. So right now, come to this part and I will indicate the chest line and create a straight line across the chest line point, all right, like so. And the next thing to do is just to link it to the shoulder around here, all right? So I'm just going to go ahead and link it towards the shoulder like this on a straight line. And in order to create the armhole, I'm just going to come to this straight line and find the midpoint of this line, all right? And on that midpoint, I'm going to come inward by half an inch, all right? And with the help of my pattern master, I'm just going to connect it together to form the front armhole. And I'll just go ahead and create the back armhole also. And up next, I'll come to the bust point here and I'm going to indicate my nipple to nipple measurement plus half an inch, all right? And I just indicated that there, and I'll do the same to the under bust and the waist line, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and connect them on the straight line. And up next, I'll just come down from the bust point by 1 inch, all right? And having done that, I'm going to create my half an inch dart on both sides, all right? Having done that, I'll just go ahead and mark my bust divided by 4, and I'm going to add 1.5 inches seam allowance to that. Then I'll come to the waistline and impute quarter of my waist circumference, and I'm going to add the dart intake that we had here. I'm going to return it back, all right? Then I'm going to add 1.5 for seam allowance, and the next thing to do is just to go ahead and connect the point together. And before cutting out this pattern, I came to the neck area here to increase the neck width by half an inch. All right, and having done that, I came to the dart area to notch the dart point. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the pattern. All right, and on the neckline I'm going to add half an inch. All right, joining allowance to the neckline. And I'll go ahead and cut through the back neckline first. And I also cut open the back piece. And in order to eliminate zipper bulge, I'm going to deduct half an inch from the zipper allowance on the waistline, and I'm going to link it up like so. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut off this excess here. And another thing I will do is to come to the center back here, and I'm going to come up by 1 inch. All right, and I'm going to link that 1 inch to the side like so. All right, and we're going to cut it out also. And having done that, I'll come to the neckline for the front, and I'll trim off the neckline and also the armhole area. All right, and having done this, we are done with both the front and the back piece, and I'll just go ahead and cut a lining piece for both the front and the back piece. And right here, that's exactly what I've done. I've gone ahead to cut out lining piece for both the front piece and here for the back piece. All right, and the next thing we need to do is just to go ahead and attach the lining piece to the material, to the main material. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and stitch the neckline and also the side, and we're going to repeat this process to all the pieces. Okay, and that's exactly what I've done here. I've gone ahead to attach the lining to the main piece, as you can see here, and right here on the front neckline I made a small modification to it because I don't want the v-neck to be sharp. Okay, as you can see, there's a little curve around the neckline. I reshaped it while I was sewing it. All right, and I also went ahead to take in the dart, as you can see right there. All right, and for the back piece also, I've gone ahead to attach the lining piece, taking the dart. All right, as you can see right here. So I'm just going to place this aside, and we're going to work on the lower part. All right, which is the skirt part. So right here, this is the back piece, and as you can see, I have both the front piece and the back piece right here. Okay, so to know what to fold, just go ahead and divide the biggest part of your lower body, which is your hip circumference. All right, you're going to divide it into 4, and you're going to be adding an allowance of about 4 inches to that to know what to fold. All right, and that is what I have right here. Okay, and for the back, I added zipper allowance to what I folded on the front. Okay, and right now I'm just going to go ahead and indicate the starting line, and having done that, I'm just going to go ahead and mark the skirt length. All right, I'm going to minus what we've used already from shoulder to half length, and I'm going to indicate the skirt length right here. And for the skirt length, I have 56 right here. I'm going to be using 56 inches for the actual skirt length, but I'm going to go ahead and add 2.5 inches, all right, as allowance. And I'm going to just go ahead and cut off this unwanted part. So right now, I'll just go ahead and indicate my hip line, and right from the waistline, which is also the start line, all right, I'm going to come down by 9 inches to indicate my hip line, and I'm going to just go ahead and mark a straight line across that point. And another line to indicate is actually the knee length. All right, and in this case the knee length is actually 22 inches, and I'm going to minus 1 from that, so I'm going to be indicating 21 inches as the knee length here. And having done that, I'll come to the waistline here, and I'm going to indicate quarter of my waist circumference. All right, and after indicating that, I'm going to add 1 inch for dart intake, all right, and 1.5 inches for seam allowance. All right, so I'll just indicate that allowance right here, and I'll come to the hip line here, and I will do the same. I'm going to measure out quarter of my hip circumference, and I'm going to indicate that. Then I'm going to add 1.5 inches for seam allowance. And having done that, the next thing to do is to come to the knee line, all right? And whatever we have on the hip, all right, cut out of our hip circumference, we're going to minus 1.5 inches from that, or you can minus 2 inches if you want it to be very tapered. But here I minus 1.5 inches from what I have here on the hip circumference, or right, cut off the hip circumference, and I'll just indicate that here on the knee line. And I'm going to be adding 1.5 inches for seam allowance also. And having done that, the next thing to do is to transfer whatever you have on the knee line to the skirt length. And having done that, I'll just go ahead and connect the point together right from the hem of the skirt to the knee and also to the hip. Then from the hip, I'll connect to the waistline. And having done that, the next thing to do is just to go ahead and cut out the pattern. And before I proceed, I'll just go ahead and add a dart to this skirt pattern, right? So I'm just going to measure out my nipple to nipple right here, and I'm going to come down by 4 or 5 inches, all right? And I'm going to connect on a straight line, then create half an inch dart legs on both sides, all right? And there we have our darts. And next, I'm going to come up by half an inch from the waistline in order to create our joining allowance, all right? And having done that, I'll just go ahead and notch the dart point. And right now, I'll just go ahead and extend the knee line from the front to the back piece, as you can see right here. Then I'll just remove the front piece and place it aside. Remember guys that this is our zipper allowance, okay? So right here on the knee line that I marked, that is where I want the slit of the skirt to start from, all right? So the next thing I'm going to do is just to go ahead and place my tape rule on the center back like so, and I'll go ahead and mark half an inch from where the slit is starting from to the end of the skirt like so. And having done that, I'll just go ahead and cut out this excess right here. Just watch what I'm doing. And having done that, I'll just go ahead and cut open the rest of the allowance right here. And having done that, the next thing to do is to go ahead and cut the wrapper piece. And in order to do this, we are going to be using the front pattern to cut another pattern that is identical. And that is exactly what I have done here, okay? So the next thing to do is just to remove the front piece, and we are going to be modifying this other piece for our wrapper. So right here, guys, on this wrapper piece, the first thing we need to do is just to go ahead and eliminate the dart intake. Remember that we don't need a dart on this wrapper piece, so we're going to remove the dart. And when we are drafting the skirt pattern, we added 1 inch for that, and the skirt was on fold, meaning that we have 2 inches for that on the skirt, and we're going to remove it, all right? So I'm going to pick this side, okay? This is where the wrapper effect is going to be, okay? So I'm going to remove 2 inches for that, and also 1.5 inches for the allowance, okay? And that is going to be 3.5 inches altogether, all right? And that is what I just indicated right here on the waistline. And from this point where we marked on the waistline, we're just going to take it all the way down to the end of the skirt on a straight line, all right? At this point, if you don't want it on a straight line, you can mark a slant line or even a curvy line, all right? But here we are just making a basic wrapper, okay? So I'm just going to connect on a straight line like so. And having done that, I'll just go ahead and cut out the unwanted part. And having done that, here is our wrapper piece, and the next thing to do is just to go ahead and cut lining piece for all the pieces, okay? And that's exactly what I've done. I've gone ahead to cut lining piece for all the pieces, and here is the wrapper piece. I went ahead to cut lining piece for it, and the lining is 1 inch shorter than the main material, okay? And this is the same process that I repeated to both the front piece and also the back piece, all right? And the next thing to do is just to go ahead and attach the lining piece to the main piece, okay? So to sew it, I'm just going to align both hem together, and I'm going to stitch it by 1/2 inch, and I'm going to pull it up and also stitch the side and also the other side, then the waist area, all right, of the wrapper piece. And I'm going to repeat the same process to the front piece and also the back piece. And right here, guys, that's exactly what I've done. I've already gone ahead to attach the lining piece, and this is the front piece. I also went ahead to take in the dart for the front piece, all right, as you can see right here. And here, this is the wrapper piece. And so right here on the wrapper piece, I've gone ahead to attach the lining and also attach a belt here, as you can see. And right here, this is the back piece. I've also gone ahead to attach the lining piece to the back piece, and I also took in the dart on the back piece, as you can see right here. And right now, the next thing to do is just to go ahead and join the upper part and the lower part together. So go ahead and align the upper part to the lower part, and we're going to stitch it, and we're going to repeat the same process to this other side here. And we're also going to repeat the same process to the front piece also. And that's exactly what I've done here on the back piece. Here I've gone ahead to join the upper part to the lower part, as you can see right here. And I also went ahead to stitch right from the slit to where the zipper is going to stop, all right? And right here, this is what the slit part is looking like. As you can see, it is very neat, okay? And right here, this is what the front piece is looking like after joining the upper part and the lower part together, all right? And the next thing we need to do is to take the wrapper piece, and we're going to align it to the front piece like so, and we're going to be stitching it on the side. And having done that, the next thing to do is to go ahead and align both the front piece and the back piece together, right side facing each other, and we are going to connect on the shoulder first of all, then we are going to stitch the side also. So I'll go do this on the sewing machine, and I'll show you what it looks like. And that's exactly what I've done here. I've gone ahead to attach both the front piece and the back piece together, as you can see right here. And right here, guys, on the side around the waist area, I left an opening there to insert the other belt, and I'll just take it to the sewing machine and stitch it close, all right? And also, I'll go ahead and attach the sleeve to this dress. I've already gone ahead to cut out the sleeve off camera, right? And I have a video on how to go ahead and cut this trumpet sleeve right here on this channel, okay? So I will leave the link in the description box below. So right here, guys, I've gone ahead to attach the sleeve to the dress, and also I've gone ahead to insert the belt to the side also, as you can see right here. And I also went ahead to fix the zipper at the back, all right? And right about now, our dress is ready. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you in my next video.